creative friends. This is Heather North here from heatherscreativeblessings.blogspot.com, and today I have a fun announcement. Monica Weaver from Add a Little Dazzle has invited me to be a part of her Dazzling Divas design team. She puts out a Dazzling Divas challenge each week, and there have just been some lovely photos and fun challenges that I have been trying to participate in. So when she put out her design team call, I'm like, yes, me, pick me. So before I get to today's card, I just want to show you some of the things that I have been making and using her sheets. This is a Christmas card. I cut out this branch. I just used, I think it's a Sizzix die. I'm not exactly sure. Kind of like the framelits that Stampin' Up! Carries. Very, very easy to cut through. It cut really well. And in fact, I loved it so much I made a second card. Love both of those. You can emboss with the metal sheet. This is the card that I put up on my blog on Sunday. I embossed, I think this was brushed copper, and then I took a Q-tip and some acetone, nail polish remover, and I just removed the copper off of the embossed pieces so the silver shows through underneath. It's a really pretty effect. And the other thing I've been liking to do is to take my little punches and punch things out. This is a jewelry tag punch. There's the bronze right in there. And little hearts. It works with your framelits, with your embosslets, with your embossing folders, with your punches. It's a really versatile little accessory to have in your card making bag, or scrapbooking for that matter. So I came up with these two cards. The current challenge is a watercolor challenge. This is from Stampin' Up! It's in their new Occasions catalog, and they are note cards. They're scored, and they're made of watercolor paper, and they have these beautiful prints and designs on them. And I just took a couple of them. I took this one to start with. I'll show you this one first. I took this one and I just cut it in half to use half of it because I wanted to have a bigger card than the note cards are. So this is basically what this is. It's just watercolored and mounted on a piece of basic gray and put on a standard size card base. So let me show you how I created the watercolor part. Watercoloring with your aqua painter is super easy. What I did for this one, if you have the ink refills, it's even easier. I don't have the ink refills for some of these colors, or most of these colors. So what I did is I just opened my ink pad slightly. I'm squeezing it together and getting just a little bit of ink into the lid. So like that. And then you can fill this barrel full of water, but I find I have more control if I just use a little cup to the side, a little shot glass, or this is something I got at Sally's Beauty Supply, so they sell it for doing your nails. I keep it on my I keep my little cup of water on my Stampin' Scrub so that if it spills over, it's contained. And then I just get some water. For this, I want it to be really watery, so I'll add extra water onto my lid and pick up some color. Oops, I'm off screen. Pick up some color and then just begin to wash it over my page. I'll take the next color. In between colors, I clean off my brush. I like to keep a paper towel handy. I rinse out my colors and then wipe it off on my paper towel, just kind of squeezing. You can leave more in there for this technique because we're kind of blended in there, but I like to clean it in between. So I take my next color, and again, I'm just squeezing this together with it slightly open. I've got some pumpkin pie in the lid. I'm going to add water, and I want to overlap it a little bit so that the colors kind of blend. Technique, you want to work quickly so that you can blend it. It does start to dry rather quickly into the paper, or soaks into the paper, and then it doesn't blend quite as well. So just work quickly. You could even have all of these open to start out with all of your different colors. Done, you can just set this aside to dry. I'm going to let it dry just a little bit, and then I'm going to take my little mister of water, or you can take this and flick it on and just flick a little bit of water over your page, and it'll kind of make those colors spread and blend, and you get this cool little dot effect, which I kind of like. But last time I did it, this was still really wet, and it got too much water on it. So I think I'm going to wait a little minute and let it dry. And I'll come back and show you how I finish up the card. This is about halfway dry right now, so I'm just going to try spritzing some water. I spritzed a little bit of water onto my card, and then I spritzed some into my hand so I get some bigger drops and just give it a more watered down look. But you could totally skip that step if you want to. I'm impatient, so I like to take my heat gun and just heat set it a little bit. It's still not completely dry, and you should wait till it's completely dry because you'll get a better effect, but I don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to do this now. I'm going to take my spritzer tool. Stampin' Up! Used to carry this, but I don't think they do any longer. Tim Holtz is coming out with it again, though, in his line, so you can find it. Look, search for it other places. Look at the clearance rack at Stampin' Up! And see if it might be there. And if not, you might be able to find it at your local craft store. But basically, you just slide your pen in there and tighten it a little bit, and you're going to squeeze, and ink splatters come out. I love this. This is basic gray, by the way, and then it just pops right out. So you can use any color you want in there. As I said, you're going to want to set this aside, let it dry completely before you do your die cutting. And if you have time and you can leave it overnight, if you leave it under a stack of books or, you know, a bunch of your a big stack of papers or something heavy and flat, a big background stamp, a couple of them, and a can of chili on top or soup, that will help flatten it. Just leave it overnight. You can also take your heat tool and heat from both sides. That kind of helps with the warping. It is going to warp a little bit. That's just the nature of the beast. Now that my watercolor paper is dry, I'm going to take the Hello sentiment. This is from Memory Box. It's called Hello Script. I think it's really pretty. There's lots of dies out there, though. Any of them will work. And you just put this where you want it to go on your card. So for my original card, I just took it right out of the middle. But I think for the second one, I'm going to move it, and I'm just going to take it out of this bottom corner. And that way, I think, because I really like the second card even more than the first card I made, I think I'm going to cut this all out and have just different watercolor hellos to use on future cards. But if you're wanting to use it for the negative space, just place it where you want it to go. I have my magnetic platform, my watercolor paper, my die cut, and another clear plate on top. You could also do this with just your regular cutting plates. I would probably take a piece of washi tape or a post-it note to hold the hello in place. Remove my die cut. There we go, and you can see we have the hello negative space, and we'd also have the hello positive space. So let me bring my two cards back in. Now I know it's kind of popular now to just have the die cut and leave these big empty holes, but to be honest, I really don't like that look. So what I did was I cut my metal sheet to fit behind the panel. You can cut these metal sheets with your trimmer, but for this one I'm just going to make sure that it completely covers in there, and it does, and just take my scissors and cut off a little piece. This time I'm using Pucker Me Pink. For this one I used, I think, Baby Blue. I don't know the names that well, but I think I'm right. The list will be on my blog in the supply list. And I put this underneath here and actually attached it to my card base where I wanted it to be. I took my piercing tool and just pierced these out. In fact, let me pull this. I'm going to gently take out all of those pieces like this. So now we have all of these negative pieces for there. And what I did is I just took a glue dot and I rolled it up with my finger because I wanted a little bit of dimension behind here. And I then stuck the glue dot behind the punched out piece. And remember, this piece right here would be on your card base. So the metal sheet's on your card base. You take your die cut and fit it in. It's just like a puzzle. And then you take the little piece that you punched out that has a glue dot on it and put it right in that spot. My one caveat for you is that it's really cold here. In fact, it's snowing here in Southwest Washington, and the metal's cold, my room is cold, the glue dots are cold, and so they don't want to stick too terribly well. I think I'm going to look for a better solution as far as sticking. But on a normal day, and if my room was a normal temperature, it would stick much better. But you can see, let me just pull this off. And you've got the little O part remaining. So I just did that with this entire piece. The second card was even easier. I just used the note cards that came in that pack, and I chose this yellow one with the circle, put it in there, put a few sequins and basic rhinestones, and these little flowers are from the little bitty punch pack. You just punch it right out of the metal sheets. It's super easy. It goes through it really quickly. And then I just put a little rhinestone on top of that. So you can see this would work with any. I love that. Hello. So hopefully this gives you a couple of ideas on how to use a new product. Maybe it sparked your imagination. Give this watercolor technique a try and let me know what you come up with. I think this would be darling to cut out little balloons and put it on a birthday card, or cut out a happy birthday sentiment, or even thank you, or an invitation. The possibilities really are endless. And when you use die cuts, remember, you get to use the positive and the negative space to make your cards. Thank you, Monica and Dazzling Divas, for letting me join your challenge team for the next few months. I look forward to hopefully inspiring some of you, and I know that you guys all inspire me. I can't wait to see what you come up with for this week's challenge. Thank you for joining me today. I'll catch you guys next time. Hope you find some time today to get a little creative. Bye!